Still got some people filtering through, but let's be punctual. So let's kick things off. Firstly, thanks to everyone for taking time out of their days to learn more about this new product line from Cegid Retail called Store Excellence. We'll introduce ourselves. We'll tell you a little bit about how this product is situated within the Cegid Retail ecosystem, and then Andreas is going to take us through a short introductory product demo, and then at the end we'll break for any questions. So just to quickly introduce ourselves, my name is Seamus. I'm sales manager for Cegid Retail Store Excellence, and joined by Andreas.
Yes, thank you, Seamus. My name is Andreas. I'm one of the pre-sales consultants here at Cegid Retail Store Excellence. Again, just helping throughout the whole demonstrations of the platform and type of help you may need throughout the whole process.
Absolutely, and we're in the same room. So if you see me glancing over to Andreas, that's why he's to my left. Okay, so as I just mentioned, Store Excellence is a new product line for Cegid Retail and has a mission to further elevate the retail experience for Cegid clients. We believe that elevated customer experiences are the result of getting every detail right in store, but it's really challenging to get all of the details right, especially when you're managing a large, sometimes even international store estate. So our mission is to embed tools for retail ops teams and for store teams to help them save time, deliver consistent brand standards, and provide greater clarity to their stores. There are a few people doing these sorts of things in this space, but we're different as we collaborate very closely with our customers to understand the business processes and the drivers, and we use our extensive retail experience to transform those outcomes. And we've got people in the team here from places like Jack Wills, Levi's, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and more. And we draw on all of that experience. So thinking about the problems that we solve and the reasons why retailers look to our solution, just take a look at the 4 blue boxes on this screen, and if any of these resonate with you, then potentially it could be worth us having a further chat at a later date. So firstly, if you're communicating to stores via email, maybe Microsoft Teams, maybe WhatsApp groups are thrown in there, but there's no single source of truth and things are noisy for store teams. If you have area managers that aren't 100% sure of what their stores are being asked to do, and you feel like they're spending a lot of time following up with stores to check whether or not they've done things. If your retail teams and your retail ops teams are spending hours trying to work out which stores have done what and are struggling to feed back to their struggling stores, and if you're sharing photos here and there, or maybe even on WhatsApp in more of an ad hoc fashion, but you don't really have a true view of your store estate and how your stores are executing. Solving these types of problems will help elevate your store experience and will increase productivity and save you time and money. So thinking about the demo today, what we're going to show you, we're going to really focus on the core task management and communication piece of the platform, and that sits right at the heart of what we offer. We then have 2 additional bolt-ons focused firstly on learning and education for retail teams in the form of an LMS, and we have an activity planner which helps our customers not only send communications to their stores, but quantify the activity that they're actually asking their store teams to execute, so that they can then, I suppose, not overload their store teams and get a nice smooth payroll curve. And just before I hand over to Andreas to take us into the demo, we've really built to slot into the existing Cegid retail ecosystem. And as such, we have native integrations with Y2 and Live Store. Think communications, tasks, and notifications cascading down to your store teams off the back of activity through the point of sale. Some examples of this would be price changes, maybe omni-channel activity or customer reservations, but the truth is all of our customers have bespoke workflows that we help build into the platform. It's really tailored to their own retail environments. So maybe as the demo progresses, you might come up with a couple of ways and see this working for you too. So I'll pass over to Andreas now, who's going to take us through a demo and introduce us to the rest of what we're looking at.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. So just before we get into the demo, I just wanted to mention a few takeaways that I want you guys to focus on today. The first is by viewing what that store manager and area manager looks like, that dashboard, how they interact with each other, and how we open that two-way communication system between store managers and people at the head office. We'll then go into some reporting tools and picture approvals, which is one of our big one over here, where we're making sure that those compliance of any type of new launches or campaigns are being approved, how they're being approved, and any type of reporting relating to that. So once we have that sort of interaction base of the platform done, we're going to look into a bit more of the brand and employee engagement tools that we have, including the homepage and the newsfeed. We are also going to take some questions towards the end, so feel free to write the questions on the available comments section, and again, we'll just answer those if you have any really at the end of the whole presentation. So let me get into the platform. Awesome. So welcome to Store Excellence. So Store Excellence is a progressive web application. So really what that means is that you could have access to the platform through any type of device that you're using, whether it's an iPad as we have over here, iPhone, desktop, really whatever that has internet connection, you could have access to it. For the simplicity really of the demo, we're gonna stay with the iPad view frame just to have a bit of an overview of everything. So the first page that we see here is called the Store Manager Dashboard, and this is the first page that your store managers will see once they log into the platform. The information over here is what we call dynamic information. So what we mean by that is that it's time sensitive, it's actionable, and the information over here is really relatable to this specific location. To the left, we have icons that are meant to determine what type of department that task is coming from. And these could be customizable as well. We have, for example, our clients at Nespresso that use George Clooney as one of their icons, because I mean, if you're paying George Clooney as one of your ambassadors, then you're for sure going to try to throw his face a bit everywhere. So these icons are then followed by a brief description of the task. From here, we could do a few different things to complete the task. One is simply just by clicking on the check mark. We also have sometimes we need to do a few more actions before completing an actual task. So for example, over here, we have to upload a picture before you're able to actually complete that task. And it won't give you the option to complete it until you actually upload one of these pictures. So again, just creates that sort of like standards and compliance that you want to see what's actually being completed within your stores in a single sort of source of information. We could also see a bit more information about a task, because we know some tasks require a bit more details. So by clicking on the three dots, we could actually view that communication and what that looks like. And over here, you get really creative with your teams, have text of a bit more detailed information of what that communication requires. You could add any type of pictures, any type of PDF files, and then we see over here the list of tasks that need to be completed for the completion of that whole communication. From here as well, store managers could ask for help in two different ways. One of them is by, again, clicking on the three dots and flagging a task. This updates automatically and gives that communication to that specific department in which the task was communicated by. Another way to ask for help is by creating a department ticket. So department tickets are great to sort of filter down to the specific business organization unit that you need specific help from. So you're not getting a bunch of email threads by 10, 15 different people into seeing how we could fix a problem for one specific store. This is where all the information is going to come, and it's going to be completely customizable to your business needs and your organization. For example, we could have a list of departments coming from maintenance, visual merchandising, or any type of other departments, whether it's your IT or HR. Just to see one of what this looks like, as we click into one of them, you have a detailed description of what's needed, any picture attachments, you could attach any documents as well. We could see what type of, when it was created, what's the status of this department ticket, and any type of communications that were sent down and the sort of time to response. You could actually set deadlines as well of when you actually need this done by. So again, just like a sort of single filterable type way to understand what your department tickets are, when they're needed, and who gets that type of information. Following the department tickets, we have another important tool, which are our checklists, and which are a bit different to our tasks. These are a regular structured checks that happen really on depending on your business needs, whether it's daily, whether it's monthly, weekly, and really you could adjust this as you need. And really what this does is that keeps that sort of high level of standards. If you have 50 stores, 60 stores, 300 stores across the globe, and you want to make sure that you're sharing that same type of experience to your clients, this is where checklists could come in hand, where you're going to have those standards across pretty much everywhere. To the right, we see what date they need to be completed by. The green are the checklists that were completed. The red highlights are the ones that weren't completed. And then the gray ones are the ones that are actually needing to be done, and we'll get into that one soon. The good part about this is that you can actually go back into one of those checklists. So once that sort of time frame is done with, you can go back into them. You can like sort of go back into the red and be like, oh no, I actually did it. This again just maintains that sort of high level of standards and sort of puts this type of compliance and accountability work to your teams. So clicking onto one of them, let me show you a bit about what that looks like. Again, your standard checklist, which is usually done right now in most of the stores that aren't using a communications or task management platform. It's your pen and paper, looking through your binder, seeing what's being done, what's not being done. So over here, we just simplified it in a more digitalized aspect. You could upload for a specific check, and then going along, you just click on the ones that are completed, the ones that aren't, and then this additional tool, you're able to comment on that specific point. You're able to actually create a task if you haven't had time to do that when you were doing the checklist, and that will appear directly on your store manager dashboard. Upload a picture or create one of those department tickets. Most importantly, we require a signature from the person who's actually completed that checklist, and it won't let you complete the checklist without having that signature. So again, it just keeps that sort of like high level of compliance and accountability to your stores and to the people who are doing those actual checks. Lastly, on the store manager dashboard, I wanted to show you as well the review section. So over here, store managers are able to go into the reviews. So this is pretty much a store visit that was done by anyone from head office, whether it's your area manager, whether it's your visual merchandising managers that are coming into your stores, and I want to see like a bit of a sort of checklist type of way of how are we doing, how is your store performing, if we need to sort of change anything. And this is where we could have all that information into one source of information. We could always go back to store managers might be going to another store and having someone come to replace them. So they have that information just where they left off, and you have that information really critical to their business needs and where they're going. So really the points in green that were done correctly, and then maybe in red the ones that are stuff that we need to work on. Sorry. So again, this is an overview of the store manager dashboard and a few of the main topics that they're used for. We are going to get into the area manager. How the store managers interact. Now let's see how the area managers interact with their stores. Here we have the area manager dashboard, and they could view their locations in two different ways. One of them is by having a geolocation maps view. Another way is by having really a list of their stores. And from here, we made it as a way of they could do a few quick actions. So first, by clicking on the three dots, they could view that actual store dashboard, which we just saw. They could view any type of performance, KPIs, or metrics based out of that location. They could add a task. They could start one of those store visits or reviews, and then you could see when the last review was actually done. Area managers could also be assigned tasks from different departments. We have here the retail operations team that want a monthly rota approval. So again, just simply by clicking on the check mark, they could complete that task. They also have visibility on their department tickets. So any of their stores that requested some help, well, they have access to it. Just open that visibility and offer some help and feedback if they can. As easy as that, the communication is sent to that store manager dashboard, and again, full visibility and transparency of what's going on in your stores. Lastly, on the area manager dashboard, we wanted to show you a few key reporting tools that are integrated directly on their platform, like that they could sort of prepare for those store visits or those reviews and have an overview of what's happening based out of those communications, reviews, or any tasks that are sort of overdue. All of our reporting tools are filterable as well. So over here we have the central area with all their locations. And then we have a few metrics that we want to have an eye on, whether it's their store's last two reviews, any tasks that were flagged. And the best part about this is that we know that area managers like seeing different type of metrics. So we've included a manage column section where you could sort of, if you don't want to see the tasks that were flagged, but you want to see the overall communication compliance, once that's submitted, again, updated automatically into the platform that you have easy and quick access to. This type of report is an overview for area managers, but of course you could get into the details of what this looks like. Simply just by clicking into one of them, you have, for example, the overdue tasks from their two specific stores. So again, I think we have more than 50 plus reporting tools available within Store Excellence. So there's definitely a report for you. And if I could speak about reporting and go through them, we could really spend a few hours doing that. So let's not get into this, but just know that we have so many reporting tools, whether it's from graphs or whether it's just more linear details like this, we have it available on Store Excellence. Just to speak a bit more about a few more reporting tools, we have a communication status report. So this is part of our 50 plus reporting systems. We're take an example of that communication that we saw in the beginning in the store manager dashboard, and we want to see what type of compliance is, what type of progress is being done through that capsule collection. So again, as we mentioned, we have the filters options on the top, and you can really filter by that communication. You can filter by organizational unit. And then at the bottom over here, we really have the details of who has completed those 3 tasks, for example, Cheshire, and who have been completed any of those tasks, for example, Cambridge. So again, you don't need too much information and just being like overwhelmed with a bunch of reports. This is simple, intuitive, and just really good for the eye, good to go. We also could see it in a type of summary report. And another great feature is the exceptions tool, where if you know that a communication, you have 2-3 days left to complete it, and you see a few of your stores haven't completed it, you could easily just send a push notification reminder to those specific stores that haven't completed those specific tasks. So again, just opening up that two-way communication system, having the reports on hand, easy to send out. You don't have to email per location, hey, just a reminder, you have to do this. This just does the work for you and reduces your operational time. From a picture approval point of view, this is another type of reporting which your VM teams will absolutely love, because currently they're probably using WhatsApp and then communicating through email for the approval of pictures and changing stuff, again, just on a bunch of these other platforms that aren't intuitive into one source of information. So over here, we have the filter tables, and then we have a sort of progression line of where that campaign is at. And then the pictures, we see that we need to approve 3 of these pictures. So by clicking into one of them, you could actually do a few nice features. Awesome. So we see the picture right over here. We could zoom in and out if you want a bit more visibility. And then from here, we could simply, if we're happy with the picture, we could click on the check mark for to approve the picture. We could also send it as a best practice. So the best practice will sort of send that picture, and that picture will be visible across all your locations to make them see that that is the correct way to do that campaign. And it's sort of like a way to share a celebration with your team and share the successes of your team. However, we know that sometimes we need to change something on a campaign that we did and change something that we don't like on a picture, so we could flag a task. By flagging a task, we could request another picture to be uploaded from that specific location. And then from here, we could specifically indicate what we want changed. So for example, if it would be the pants, change pants. Once it's submitted, the actual store gets a notification directly on their task page. So right over here, they have that communication that leads to them, and then they have they are able to make those changes specifically to what's needed, upload the picture, and then from your VM's manager type of view, they will have the 2 pictures side by side like that. They could compare which one they like most and which one they want to approve. So that is the vision that we have for the reporting tools and the approval tools whenever it comes to your head office, and sort of that visibility that you could communicate with your stores. So the last 2 features I wanted to show you on the platform. So we have on one side where we had a lot more dynamic information. On this side, what we call the home page is where we have that static information. By static, we mean information that doesn't change much. It could be any type of policies and procedures. It could be any type of employee handbook. Again, stuff and information that doesn't change much. It's held on a master file. It's held on a master file, so really, again, all the information is there, and it's a really single truth of information, and you don't have to open up a bunch of different pages to find different things. So everything is here. It's configurable, so you could add any type of images, videos that are related to your brand, and this is really a nice way to showcase your brand and really to have a sort of catered and a nice presentation of your brand to your whole organization. We could also link any type of other websites to this as well. So by again, single truth of information. You come here for example, an e-learning platform that you have. So you can simply just click on it and it sends you to your platform page. I've also wanted to show you another integration that we put in, which is the newsfeed. So where you could communicate that sort of softer information with your stores. Again, any type of new stores that are opening, any type of celebrations that are happening within your organization, you could share them here. A bit more of those softer communication skills. You could also react, users could react to them, you could comment on them, and then you could also create groups that are catered to a specific topic, for example, a sustainability group, if you wanted to share specific things for what your organization is doing in terms of sustainability. So this is, again, was a quick demo of what we wanted to show you as a sort of introduction into store excellence. We have a bunch of other features and advantages that we would love to show you on a more catered aspect, so we could do this all relatable to your store and catered to your store on a more personalized demo. But this is an overview of what we could actually accomplish with this platform. And like we mentioned, this is the core of it, but there are other functions to this. I will give you back to Miss as well.
Yeah, thanks, Andreas. So before we wrap up for questions, we just wanted to share some example customers that we have using the platform at the moment. Firstly, as a benchmark for you to see the level of brands that we work with, but secondly, we know that everyone in retail knows everyone. So if you do know anyone at any of these brands, from Hugo Boss to PVH to Nespresso, please reach out and ask them how they find working with us. Once we get there.
I don't know why it's not loading.
Of course, there we go. Yeah, brilliant. So as I say, yeah, we're really proud of the customers that we work with. And if you do know anyone at any of these brands, do feel free to reach out and ask them what they think to working with us. And now all that's left is to just wrap up with questions. So if you do have any questions, now is the time to ask them. We do have just a couple here. And the first one is regarding push notifications. So yes, we do support push notifications. We offer a progressive web app, which means you don't firstly need to download native apps for iOS or Android, for example. And that also means that we're able to work on any device that's connected to the internet. So be it a phone, an iPod, a point of sale, a laptop. But as we offer a progressive web app, we're also able to support things like push notifications and offline capability. So I hope that answers that question for you. Yep, we have another question here, which is regarding workplace. Can we replace or consolidate workplace? So for anyone that doesn't know, Workplace is a corporate social media platform built by Meta, which they are due to end support for later this year. One of the key ways that retailers and our customers have made the business case for investing in store excellence is by consolidating their existing systems. And for businesses like PVH, we've been able to consolidate up to 13 systems into our one platform. One of those in the past has been Workplace, and so you know, as Workplace comes to an end, we certainly will be continuing to consolidate that platform and offer things like our news feeds to customers to replace that functionality, consolidate systems and save their money in the process. Are there any other questions? No, brilliant.
That's good.
Okay, well, we're wrapping up really punctually here. So all that's left to say is thank you very much to everyone for joining us. I hope this was interesting and informative. Please do reach out if you have any other questions, and look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.